Yeah, the action doesn't stop here in Birmingham. Final game of the day as we get to see again in this tournament the self-proclaimed superior side in terms of blind football, and of course it is Brazil in action against Morocco. The floodlights have just come on. It is a rather grey, overcast day, unlike what it has been over the last 2 days here in Birmingham in bright sunshine, in what is, of course, as I mentioned, the final game of the day. Both were winners in their opening game without conceding. Morocco top of the table due to a bigger win over Mexico. 3-0 winners they were. Brazil narrowly got past Iran. Certainly weren't convincing. No doubt looking for a marked improvement in their second game. We'll discuss the game in detail with Dixie Dean, but first, of course, time for the anthems.
Please remain standing if you are able for the national anthem of Brazil.
As margens plácidas e o povo heróico brado retumbante, e o sol da liberdade, raios fúlgidos, brilhou no céu da pátria nesse instante. Gigante pela própria natureza, és bela, és forte, pálido colosso. Se o teu futuro espelha essa grandeza, terra dourada. Entre outras mil és tu, Brasil, a pátria amada. E os filhos desse sol és mãe gentil, pátria amada, Brasil. Brasil! Bora again.
So we're ready for the final game of the day. Of course, just beforehand we did see Mexico and Iran play out a fascinating and entertaining 1-1 draw. But for the second game of Group D, here is the teams then, starting with Morocco. Well, they probably put in one of the best performances you could have seen on match day 1 in the men's blind tournament. They line up with Samir Bara in goal, the number 12. Hussam Gili, the number 3. Bouar Redouane is the number 5 as well. Their captain, Abdelrazak Khattab, hit a hat-trick. No one could hit more better than him on match day 1. Zuhair Snisla, the number 9, was certainly impressive, even though he didn't score against Mexico in their first game. The substitutes then for Morocco: Abdallah Lee, Ait Al-Hakem, Ayub Hadimi, Mohamed Hamouchi, Hikam Lamlas and Othman Drouf. The head coach is Driss El Muntaki, with the guide being Said Himi, who of course is also the guide for the Moroccan women's side. And speaking of the Moroccan women's side, they are in attendance to provide the men the support. Well, on to Brazil then. Well, of course, they weren't quite as impressive as maybe some were anticipating in their game against Iran, but they line up like this for their second encounter. They have Luan in goal. They have then the outfielders, the number 8, Nonato Mendes, number 11, Jarjul Suarez, Number 5, Cássio Reis, who scored the only goal of the game in that win against Iran, due to the fact, of course, Iran would concede 5 penalties in the first half. He would subsequently tuck away the 8-metre penalty, and the number 9, Thiago Silva, completing the 5 on the pitch for Brazil. The subs then include Mateus Costa, Jonathan Silva, Maicon Mendes, Samir Silva, Jefferson Gonçalves, who we are reliably informed is known as the Paralympic Pele due to their dominance of the particular sport. The head coach is Fabio Vasconcelos, and the guide for Brazil is Edson Junior. Well, Dixie Dean, of course, we are speaking sort of in real contrast, aren't we? Because Brazil weren't that great in their first game against Iran, so they haven't peaked yet. Morocco won 3-0 against the Mexicans. I guess you've got to worry that they haven't hit their ceiling and that they can't give any more, because they were very, very good, weren't they, against the Mexicans?
Yes, yeah, Morocco were very impressive against the Mexican team, and they looked really sharp, and we're just behind their goal when they were doing their warm-up, and my word, were they leathering the balls into the goal there. So they were a great team, and as you quite rightly say, Matt, Brazil were a bit flattering to deceive in the first game, really. We expect so much from them because of who they are, but they didn't hit the full heights on that first game.
Yeah, they did, but they still managed to win, which is a sign of a good side, as everybody knows. They do sit second coming into this, though. Morocco's win, as mentioned, more impressive than Brazil's. No doubt the opportunity and motivation for both is to go towards top spot and really grab hold of this group by the horns and look to end match day 2 on maximum points, which would be huge going into the final round of matches. Well, the players are out onto the pitch. The Moroccan captain Abderrazak Khatab and the goalkeeper for Brazil, Luan, is of course the captain. Cássio Reis and of course Sami Bara also there as well. The officials then doing the coin toss is the referee Francois Carcouet, and also then the referee number 2 on the pitch is Tom De Bruyne. Farzad Favelli and Germino Lubrano are the 2 officials that will be keeping an eye and keeping sort of calmness on both benches. The scorer is Romina Rosedo, with the timekeeper being Yuta Suzuki. Well, we are ready to go here. Final game of the day, which is of course which will round off the action here in the blind football tournament for the day. We saw the women's group stages come to an end, and we've also about to see the end of match day 2 for the men, so still one more round of fixtures for groups A, B, C and D in the men's tournament, as the Moroccan women of course are in attendance. They played yesterday and got a bit of a beating from the Japanese in their game, so they'll be no doubt hoping that the men can get another victory, and a big victory for them as they look to get past Brazil, who, as we mentioned when they were taken to the field against Iran, are sort of the titled kings of this sport. Just the final few checks then for Tom De Bruyne and the referee Francois Carcouet before the game will get underway. It will be Morocco will get us underway from right to left in their all-white strip, different to what it was in the first game when they were in all green, and Brazil wearing their same strip as they did against Iran. They are facing a side in all white kit, of course, as the Iranians wore in their first game, and Brazil in their yellow shirts, of course, green sleeves and that green collar, navy blue, dark blue shorts and sort of dark blue socks as well, which is of course such a recognisable kit on the global football stage, whether it's in Paralympic football or any other type of football competition they partake in. It is just so familiar with everybody around the world. So we are ready to go for the final game of the day on this Friday evening in Birmingham's second city. Still an overcast day, the floodlights on, not quite night time yet, as we are of course in British summertime. You wouldn't have thought it with the weather today, to be perfectly honest. We've had rain, we've had all sorts, but it is dry and has been for the last few hours or so. As Francois Carcouet blows his whistle and we get underway. A chance to really take control of Group D, a chance to keep your 100% record or will both stay unbeaten. No doubt a draw for both wouldn't be a bad result, given going into the final round of matches, both would be 1 and 2 going into this group. And of course, whoever is to lose today, if there is to be a loser, they would be in second, whilst the side would move on to 6 points and top, as we're about to see how it unfolds. Here is now Zuhair Snisla, who really put in an exemplary performance against the Mexicans. He was probably a little bit unlucky that he didn't actually find the back of the net. He had a really good understanding with Abderrazak Khattab as Nonato is going forward. It has led though to a Brazil corner with the number 5 Buar Redouan putting it out. And it is the opportunity that Brazil would have wanted 45 seconds into this first half, Dixie.
Yeah, it's a nice, slow, measured start by the two teams. No one's flying in anywhere. They're showing each other a great deal of respect, like they should do. And, we got a corner kick to Brazil.
Interesting to see if Morocco adopt the same tactics as the Iranians did against the Brazilians. Maybe they have prepared for a bit more of an open opposition, Brazil, than what they did against the Asian side, Iran, in their opening game. They come from the far sideboard. Sharjil Suarez has won another corner for his side on the far side again. So Samir Bada again is having to talk to his Moroccan outfielders and how he wants to defend this corner kick, which Brazil have taken. Here is now Sharjil Suarez looking for Nonato, nearly there, but Khattab clears it away first time out of the penalty area. Now Zuhair Snisla battling away with the Brazil number 11 Sharjil Suarez. Right-footed pass goes off the sideboard into Nonato. Battles away with Abderrazak Khattab, who's going on. Shoots from a fair old way out. Must have been about 20 metres out. And the Brazil defence will just move away and let the ball go out of play for their goal clearance, which Luan, the captain and goalkeeper, throws out in that all-black strip with sort of a green line going down on left and the right side of the middle of the shirt towards Nonato via Sharjil Suarez's pass. Doesn't find a teammate of his. Morocco look to clear. Not quite up the line. Only halfway up the line as Brazil have got it back. Now Thiago Silva has been told to stop as Francois Carcouet has blown his whistle, as it appears as though that a trainer has just come off for Abderrazak Khattab, and in particular his right trainer. So Tom De Bruyne just passing it to him, so hence why the play has been stopped, so he can put his trainer back on.
Yeah, so we'll start with the uncontested bounce up. Francois will just drop the ball in front of the number 9 there. It's been a slow start compared to what we've seen earlier on today, Matt, but I'm sure it's going to warm up. What's going on there? No, you can't do that. Go back. So I'm sure this game will get going because there's too much quality on the pitch for it not to get going. So, we're in for a feast, yeah.
There we are. 2 minutes or so in. Goalless at the moment. Here is Nonato. Goes into Snisla, who went down. Nonato sort of half went down, but was quick to get back up. He stabs it away on the halfway line. Ahead of Snisla. Bounces off the sideboard. He has gone off the Moroccan player last, is it? No, it hasn't. It has gone off the Brazilian player. I was just thinking that was a bit of a surprise that Luan was just trying to play that off like Nonato clearly didn't put that up for a corner, but the officials were almost saying, no, you're not going to fool us, and it will be Morocco's first corner of the half and of the game entirely.
Yeah, he was trying to pull one over on their eyes there. He thought, if I get the ball quickly and throw it into the pitch, no one will notice. But the referees are on the ball, and it's a corner.
You're going to have to get up pretty early to catch the officials out, aren't you? As there was nothing wrong with that challenge as Brazil looked to come away with it. Sharjil Suarez has won it as the Moroccan player went down, and then Suarez gets the shot away. It did just eventually go back to him as Morocco couldn't clear. They struggled to do so. Suarez hit it towards goal, but hit it wide. Thrown all the way into the Brazil penalty area. Down goes Khattab. And Brazil will carry on as Khattab is slow to get up. You just hope there's no sort of aggravation on his ankle injury, which even though he had a hat-trick on Wednesday in the game against Mexico, it was still causing him some problems as Suarez now gets over on the far side from the pass across the floor by Nonato. Thiago Silva's over there. Nonato there as well. Silva's there. Diving at his feet was the number 3, Hussam Gili. It will be a Brazil corner with Snisla putting it up. There's going to be a lot of that, isn't there, in this game? Out of possession, Dixie, a lot of the play. We'll see the Moroccans chasing the Brazilians down, hoping to stop them not scoring in this game.
Yeah, exactly. They'll work really hard, and the Brazilians will move the ball around more than the Moroccans will. I would think they'll do slightly more passing, and the Moroccans go a bit more direct.
João Suarez knocking it in front of Thiago Silva, or Thiago Parana on his shirt as he has it. As João Suarez hits it, and it was hit through the crowd, hit wide of Samir Bara's goal as he was diving, but doesn't have to make a save at all yet in this game.
Yeah, it was a good effort by him. He just toe poked it through the legs of the oncoming players, but it was wide of the post.
Back to the action we go. Sneeser looking to use the far sideboard to find Hattab, who fends off his man. Hattab hits it, and of course he's got the confidence flowing through his veins, given of course he scored a hat-trick, as we've emphasised on Wednesday against Mexico. Silva goes down, clear trip by Hussam Gili, right in front of the referee Francois Carcouet, and that's the first foul of the day against the Moroccans.
Yeah, going back to that previous shot by Morocco, he was a long way out. He's not going to score from there, and it's a bit of a wasted effort. Really, he should have carried the ball on another 5 or 10 yards, then got his shot away. But so we got a nice free kick here for Brazil, a bit wide. They'll try and work something. They've got a player on the edge of the box in the middle there, so they'll try and work something to bring him into play, I would think.
Yeah, the player on the edge of the penalty area is Nonato. Thiago Silva is behind João Suarez. There's 3 Moroccan players in the wall, left to right, Gili, Redouane, and also Sneesler. Hattab is sort of half and half inside the penalty area. They're not. His left side's in the area, his right side isn't, as he is basically halfway in, halfway out, as I mentioned. As Brazil look to strike with 11 minutes 36 seconds left on the clock, as we're going to hear a tap on the post for the first time in this game from the guide, Edson Junior. Of course, in the last game there was a few problems with the Mexican guide and the Iranian goalkeeper still speaking over him. No such problems here this time round in the very next match. Whistle blows, Brazil will take it, João Suarez will hit it, charged down and blocked well by Sneesler. Hattab chasing his own touch, it did just sort of come right off his foot. He's away though from Cassio Reis, who shoots this Hattab, and again a fair old way out, very similar range to where he had his first shot. He was off target with his first one, second one on target, but stand a bit of keeping for Luan, the Brazil captain, as Hattab looks to come again. He's a little bit closer now, a little bit more central, but he's off balance and hits it wide. But we're starting to see the Moroccan captain try and influence things for his country.
Yeah, Francois got a problem here with one of the players, one of the Brazilians. I don't quite know what the problem is. He's going over there asking him, whatever it is, he's asking him not to do it again. So it's a pretty good indication he's done something wrong.
Yeah, Thiago Silva's the player who's just been given a bit of a stern warning. And Francois Carcouet. The referee Tom de Bruyne is the official on the far side. João Suarez now looking for Thiago Silva. No foul by Sneesler. Silva down, getting back up. Just gets up like he's got springs in his feet. Silva down again, gets back up, and Samir Bara able to collect the ball, just sort of bring his 2 arms forward to just sort of bring it close to his chest, the ball there, but it looks as though Thiago Silva's going to be a player you're going to have to really use a lot of force to get down, because he just seems every challenge he gets back up, and very much as the song says, he gets back down from getting back up again, and certainly difficult to take him down at the minute. But so far 10 minutes 26 seconds left of this first half, very even contest, and Brazil yet to get a shot on Morocco's goal, so they've passed the first test, you'd have to say, Morocco.
Yeah, that indeed, but it was another silly little foul by the Moroccans, pulling the shirt back, and the referee spotted it, gave him a free kick.
Here is now Nonato. 2 fouls already for the Moroccans with only around 5 minutes gone. Here is now Hussam Gili, stops it from going out for a corner, so good work from him. He's under threat of losing the ball and gifting the possession to the Brazilians inside his own penalty area. Just touches it behind his ankle, and away it goes for now. Sneesler and Redouane battling. with themselves. Remember, they are teammates. Hatab, though, decides to take control of the situation and just dribble it out. Clearance by the Brazilians goes straight through to Samir Bara, who clearly hasn't got the memo to be kind of coordinated. There's 3 different colours. There's a sort of pink and white goalkeeper jersey. White lines across the bulk of it being sort of pinkish, and pink shorts and black socks with a grey cap as down goes João Soares. However, though, Hatab down as well, and now he's lost another trainer. This time it's on his left side as he will now put it back on. Tom De Bruyne just passing it to him. But I guess Dixie, with Brazil having, 2 fouls for them and yet to concede a foul, do you maybe think that sometimes in blind football, the opposition team, when, the side they're playing has made 2 fouls early on in the game, do they almost look at it and think, well, they are going to assume they're going to make another couple of fouls and we might get an 8-metre penalty? Does that come into the thinking sometimes?
It'll certainly come into the coach's thinking. He'll be saying to them, draw fouls, draw fouls. They're on 2 already. We've got 9.5 minutes to go, so there's a good chance that they're going to commit another 2, and then they're on the knife edge of 8-metre penalties. So, there was no foul there. There's a boot to come off, so I think Tom will. It'll be an uncontested drop ball, because Brazil were in possession of the ball when they stopped the game. Yeah, he's going to just drop it in front of him, and off we go. It's good position.
Yeah, the Moroccans all the way back, a good few yards away. Across the floor to the near side to Thiago Silva. About 12 metres out he is. Won't be able to shoot. Hatab in the way of it. Good defending. Brazil corner. They certainly are, it feels like, getting quite close to getting a real good save, at least out of Samir Bara, the Moroccan keeper.
Yeah, they're starting to crank it up, Brazil. It's bit by bit adding the pressure on, starting to passing around, and they'll just keep on winding the pressure up, and until they either get a goal or force a good save from the keeper.
Yeah, they're just warming up, aren't they? Yep. The Brazilians, and certainly at times they did lack a bit of a tempo against Iran. They did kind of play that little bit at sort of walking pace, but a bit more of a spring in their step and a bit more of a different feel to them this time round in the very next game. Here's João Soares, about 8 metres out. Can he get it onto his left foot or right to shoot? It's on his right, trying to toe poke it to goal. Well blocked though by Redouane, the Moroccan defender. Here's now Sneesler. Closed down by Nonato, who wins it. That's a brilliant tackle. Probably won it a bit too easily against the Moroccan number 9 and kicked well off the pitch by the Moroccan defence.
What a block by the 3 just before that, Matt. Brazilian player was about 8 yards out and he's let fly, and the 3's come across and he's got a block in. It's absolutely fantastic, because he's gone in with his body. He hasn't gone in with his feet. He's gone in with his body to block the ball. Very brave, and it was a great block.
Yeah, Hussam Gilly, the number 3, made the block for Morocco at the back. But 8 metres out, very close to the near sideboard, are Brazil. There's João Soares and Silva were trying to work it together. Here's now Sneesler. Take us a little deflection of the Brazilian defenders. Cassio Reis there. Battling away with Sneesler. Holds him off. Clears it forward. Gilly with all the time in the world. Samir Bara is just telling him, the goalkeeper, to just let it run and let it go out for a goal clearance. And no doubt listen to his instructions, as Bara will then just throw it out along the floor, bounces past the halfway line across the floor. Now Nonato, all alone up there. Surely he's going to eventually shoot, but then standing up well. Here's Bourard, and it will be a goal clearance to Morocco.
Yeah, Tom was indicating then he heard the volley. The guy was obviously appealing for a penalty, but it wasn't a foul other than it was a no volley, and Tom was showing me, he was pointing to his ears. I heard it. And the guy's he's gone back behind his goal and he's going to be quiet for a while.
In the last game we saw Ricardo Bonnet get booked for Mexico because he was being a bit too loud and a bit too brash over certain things and certain incidents in the game against Iran. And the Brazilian guy Edson Junior doesn't want to do is find himself having his name taken and getting booked. Gilly holding off Nonato. We'll just backing it behind him and away. Goes over the 14-metre line. Thiago Silva now inside the Moroccan half, going into the centre circle, dribbling up to the 14-metre line centrally. Bobbles all the way to the near side with Nonato. Hatab away. Bouara can't get there. Hatab will close it down as Wargil Suarez is there. He'll now look to the other flank. He'll go from the right to the left. And Morocco and Hussam Gili will get it clear.
Yeah, not quite switched on there, the two Brazilians on the near side. It was a good ball across, and they didn't react to it.
Suarez now looking for Cassio Reis. Bit of hesitancy, did just step back. He was expecting the ball to come to him, but then I think he got the sense that Hatab or a Moroccan player was closing him down and did just get it away. Silva crowded out though and unable to carry on going in the Moroccan penalty area by Gili, who blocks him off. But so far, if you're having to sort of say who's the happier, Dixie, I think it's the Moroccan camp. That's very, very clear, isn't it?
Put me on the spot, man. Why don't you? Yeah, of course. Yeah, okay, then we're just going to have a look at some... Are we? No. Yes, we are.
We're just going to see the opportunity that Brazil managed to muster up. Wargil Suarez with the low effort, which was wide of Sami Ibarra's goal, which the Moroccan goalkeeper wasn't quite worried just about. Could have been a bit different had it been a little bit more straighter and going towards goal rather than away from the goal. But just going back to the original point, I mean, certainly will feel like the Moroccans will be a lot happier than probably the Brazilians at this moment in time.
Yeah, they'll be happy, the Moroccans, because I think they're playing up to their potential. I still don't think Brazil are. I think Brazil are better than this, and we're not really seeing what I would say the proper Brazil. They're sort of a little bit half pace and not quite switch on. There was a ball just played a couple of minutes ago and went from the far board across to this near board, and it was a good ball. It was two Brazilians over here, and they both just stood and watched it, and no one reacted to it, and that's not like Brazil. So I'm sure the coach for Brazil, who's been involved in the game for a long, long time, he used to be their goalkeeper, he'll get round them at half time and stir them up a little bit, and I think they need stirring up a little bit.
The coach, by the way, is Fabio Vasconcelos, and speaking of him, he has made a change as Maicon has gone on for Brazil, as Thiago Silva is the player to make way for him. There's Nonato, comes off his left thigh and goes up for a goal clearance. When you talk about Brazil not quite playing to their potential, what do you exactly mean by that, Dixie? What is their strength?
Well, their strength is their passing and their running ability with the ball. Now, if anyone's got a chance to get onto YouTube and sort of put Brazil Paralympics in, and you watch them, it's just unbelievable. The pace that they run at, and we're not quite seeing that right at the moment. I think it'll come, and I think they're playing well within themselves at the moment. But a dangerous game to play because. You go goal down and it's quite difficult to come back then. I'd just like to see him do a little bit more.
Morocco got themselves a corner on the near side. Sneesler trying to bring it infield from the near side. Cassio Reis with a excellent tackle. Here's now Maicon Junior. Maicon Mendes as it was known, but he has got Maicon Junior on the top of his shirt in green. Goes over to the far sideboard. It's come up the better in that duel, but then Hatab hits it against Maicon, and it will be a goal clearance for Morocco. It does feel like Sami Ibarra's had the most touches of any Moroccan player in the last few minutes than any of the outfielders. Here's now Sneesler. It has reached the Moroccan number 9, but he just goes into Cassio Reis, and there are some people in the Moroccan camp, players and staff, a little bit unhappy that decision was given against Zouher Sneesler.
Yeah, there was no voy. You could clearly see that Francois was pointing to his mouth, no voy. So it's another foul. Well, I'm looking at the Brazilian coach, and he's not stopped barking orders all the time. He's trying to get his team going, and it's not a holiday, boys. Come on.
Well, they're certainly not living up to their name. You know how good they can be at this sport, and they certainly have got A lot more to give, a lot more gears that they can go through. Seems to be stuck in one at the moment. Joao Suarez battling away with Zuhair Sneesler. He's away from him, but he can't get away from Hatab, who's had to play a very different role to what he did against the Mexicans 48 hours or so ago. Here is now Hatab, will shoot from range, and he's closer this time. He is very much a player who will shoot on sight, will look to score the most audacious of goals. And he's always shot from over the right side of the pitch. He came in, Phil, from the left side, and he was close there. It feels like the next one he's going to have is going to end up in the net.
that was another sighter, wasn't it? It was a heck of a shot, honestly. He's got some power, that boy.
He has indeed. He got a hold of that wonderfully, didn't he? But it just was not quite on target, as Luan was happily going to see that one go away from him. Probably the moment it left Hatab's foot, he was probably thinking, I might have to make a brilliant save to keep it out, but as it was just drifting away, he wasn't needed to do. That's a lovely back heel. That was a bit of brilliance from the Brazilians there by Joao Suarez. Gives it to Nanato, and he actually picked out a yellow shirt there as well, so that makes it look even more stylish and wonderful to see. Good work by Maicon Junior or Maicon Mendes. Away though by Redouane. Forward it goes by the Brazilians. Donato can't get there. Here's now Hatab. They're going to start to close it down. Here it's it again! And that has forced a save, Alalouane. And no wonder he's cheering, because that is a fantastic save. You just said he had an absolute sighter with one that went wide. That one is as close as he's come, as Morocco nearly find themselves in front with a wonderful strike from Hatab being saved by Luan.
That's 15 metres out. It's incredible. But I think one of our camera crew will bear testament to that, because we were stood before the warm-up over by our position, and he let fly, and it went over the bar, come into our tent, and he knocked the cameraman off his foot. It was quite humorous, not for the cameraman, man.
Thank God it was away from us in this position. I tell you, it was the other end of the pitch. It was going from right to left. Of course, Morocco are in this first half rather than going from left to right. There was a pull on. Maicon was there. I think the Brazilian head coach, Vasconcelos, is a little bit unhappy about that. Zuhair Sneesler, given the benefit of the doubt, Sneesler hits it. It is a goal kick. Rather wild attempt there, and the whistle has been sounded and the buzz has gone off for what seems to be a change here for the Brazilians.
Yeah, the timeout.
And the timeout has been called, and we're going to see the opportunities now that have happened for Morocco. And that man, Abderrazak Hatab, well, that was one that went whistling past Luan. As I mentioned, he came in from the near sideboard. He's about 15 metres or so out, and he got a hold of that brilliantly. But then what about this one? Well, you have just sensed and have got that feeling that he is going to get closer and closer, and the next one he's going to have is surely going to score by the law of averages. And what happens next, because that was a tremendous save by Luan. We've seen some brilliant saves in this tournament, but that might just be the best of the bunch as the game now has restarted with just under 4 minutes left to play. And you have to say the Moroccans have been far and away the better side at the moment, as Brazil have made a change as Jefferson Gonçalves goes on, the man who, of course, if you type in on YouTube his name, it will come up with one of the wonderful goals he's scored in the various competitions. Aptly named the Paralympic Pele is on for Brazil, as he's gone on in place of Joao Suarez. But this is a real good spell by the Moroccans. But what you do when you're in control, Dixie, you've got to score.
Yeah, you've got to score. But the Brazilian coach is going, he's having a fit over there. He knows his team are not playing well, and he knows they're under pressure, and he's pleading with them to step it up, because those last two shots by the Moroccans, I tell you what, it was me saying he's got to get closer. He was further away with the second one than the first one, and he's brought an amazing save from the keeper. It's absolutely incredible how hard he can hit a ball. Can't stress it enough. It's just unbelievable.
Well, just going back to Hatab, we've seen a lot throughout this tournament already. Certain players like to dribble all the way to the penalty area. He doesn't. He feels like his biggest strength is shooting from distance, and we have seen him do that at, I think it's 4 occasions that I've counted, and you don't think it's going to stop there as soon as he gets it. And I think, of course, the team talk at the break for the Brazilians will be, you've got to close the space down and not allow them to have all the room and all the time in our half from long range to shoot. As it's gone across the floor by Hatab, he was looking for Sneesler. The Brazilian defence back to defend it. Here is now Hatab. He's about 10 metres out. Will hit it. It's low. Luan saves. Had to get right down low to keep that one out. And he's certainly being kept busy. Here is Luan, the Brazil captain.
Oh, out of the two keepers, it's the Brazilian keeper that's having all the work to do. Brazil are on the back foot, and Morocco could do, in this spell of the game when there is so much on top, they could do with scoring now, and score when you're on top is what they say.
He's really Mr. Dependable in the goal for Brazil is Luan, by far and away their man of the match in terms of the saves he's made. Corner taken from the near side, goes across the box. Hatab battling away with Nonato. Hatab is down, went down a bit too easily. Nonato can just carry it from his own half into the Morocco half. And he's had an effort which has gone just wide. That was hit very, very well by Nonato, all on his own. And he's nearly found a way through the Brazil number 8.
Yeah, we're just watching it again. He's run from the halfway line. He's cutting across infield. Hits the ball across him. And across the keeper. And just evades the far post there. Not by much, mind. We've seen some good shooting here, Matt.
Here is Jefferson Gonçalves. Now towards Nonato on the stretch. Thrown himself at it. Left leg out. But it's gone away from him and gone off the sideboard. On the far side is now Redouane Bouar. No foul there as Nonato just knocks into him. And it will go out of play for a goal clearance for Morocco as Sneesler will tie up his left trainer. As I think the Brazilians are planning a change. It does seem as though a note's just been passed to the sort of officials in the middle of the sort of near sideboard where the staff are for both countries.
The Brazilian coach is still waving his arms around. He's not happy. He's not happy at all. So we've got a substitution.
Yeah, there will be a Brazil change. As we will see Nonato go off, who just had probably the brightest opening Brazil have had in this game, as Virgil Soares is going to be reintroduced into this game. As we have just over 2 minutes left to play. Morocco 0, Brazil 0. Last game of the day. And what is day 5 of the men's football tournament, or the blind football tournament overall. Women's group stage is over. Still one more match to play after this for groups A to D in the men's tournament. Here is now Hatab. He goes on. He's looking to shoot from range again. It's low. Still did go through the crowd of the Brazilian outfielding defenders, but it was an effort that was probably by his standards quite tame. He went through to Luan.
That was his swinger. It was his left foot. He's better with his right.
Here is now Jefferson Gonçalves. That's well defended by Hussam Gil. He's had a good half himself. Jefferson just knocks into him. His eye protector has gone off, and the referee Francois Carcouet is going to give it back to him, but Hatab carries on. Goes off Cassio Reis into the penalty area. Hatab, it's in the face of Luan, who's not affected by it at all. He's almost just able to get straight back up. But Abderrazak Hatab still getting shots away. This time it was inside the penalty area. And he's getting closer and closer to the goal, and even getting closer to scoring. Here is Jefferson Gonçalves, but it's gone out of play for a Morocco goal clearances. It seems as though Francois Carcouet is just going to check if everything's okay for Hussam Gili. But we're going to check this chance again for Abderrazak Hatab, and it's a save Luan doesn't know too much about.
Oh, that's got to hurt. He's what, 3 yards away from him? And he's absolutely smashed it, and the Brazilian keeper's just stood up, took it full in the face and stood there. Oh, my word. They make him out of strong stuff in Brazil.
I'll tell you what, if that hit him straight central in the face, I think we might have seen a physio or some sort of medical professional come on and attend to him, because that would have been seeing blood pouring out of his nose as Gilly flicks it forward for Sneesler. It has gone out for a goal clearance for Brazil, as Morocco are going to make a change. As Hikum Lamlas is going to be introduced. Sneesler is going to go off with 47 seconds left of this first half. He's just going through his pace. He's just doing a little warm-up before he enters the field of play for a very, very brief time. As Luan, the Brazil goalkeeper, takes some water on board. No doubt they've got to be giving him a lot of pats on the back, because without him and his saves, Brazil would have been a bit further down, and they are really riding their luck, and it is on their side in this first half, you have to say.
Yeah, definitely. The first half belongs to Morocco, no doubt about it.
Game is now restarted. A little bit left on the scoreboard. 41 seconds left now. Sergio Suarez trying to go into the middle past the 14-metre line. It rolls across towards Jefferson Gonçalves. He's away from Gilly. You can't get him going and motoring towards your goal, because it does seem to be like there's only going to be one outcome, which is the ball in the net, but the Moroccan defenders defend it well. Here's now Hattab. It's a right-footed effort, which is wide. I think they are claiming that there might have been a foul there. Samir Bar, the Morocco keeper, very vocal there as Hattab is down. He's holding his right arm. Again, he's been in the battle. Again, he's been in the wars. There's the Morocco number 10. As we might see a goal right at the very end. It's Sergio Suarez. Great block by Hussam Gilly. He's had a very good first half performance. Here's Hattab. Now, does he get fouled by Cassio Reis? He does not. And the buzzer will sound for the end of the first half. Well, we've said Hattab's name quite a lot, and that's simply because he has been very, very active and very much busy in terms of getting shots at the Brazil goalkeeper Luan, who has made some terrific saves to keep him out. There's been at least 2-3 good saves made by the Brazil keeper and captain that has kept out Abdelrazak Hattab, as it has been a real captain sort of display by Luan as the highlights come in. They're all going to probably be sort of a compilation and a sort of show reel of Hattab's efforts in the first half, and he's the bulk of them, and a bit of a repetitive theme, shot from a long old way out. That was around 15 metres out. He came in from the near side. Same again, 15 metres. It was high. Big right hand by Luan. Pushed it over the bar and away to his right out for a corner kick. That was a fine, fine save. And then he would take one right in the side of the face towards the end of the half as Hattab would shoot low. And he would get another low save out of the goalkeeper. They've been all types of saves, haven't they? He saved with his face, he saved low with his right, he saved high with his right. And of course the goalkeeper for Brazil certainly is showing that he's very much not having a day off and is very, very busy, as Nonato would have their best chance in what's been quite a quiet first half for the Brazilians, as there's a better angle of the opportunity for Nonato, which was just skimming away from goal. And that's been it from the first half. Morocco perhaps should be in front, but they're not, as the Brazilians are keeping them at bay, and in particular Luan. Half-time here in this Group D clash here in the men's blind football. Morocco 0, Brazil 0, as we now have a word from IBSA with just under 10 minutes to go until the start of the second half.
IBSA, International Blind Sports Federation, presents, with the support of the International Paralympic Committee, IBSA Anti-Doping App, the first application of its kind in the Paralympic movement, specifically designed for blind and visually impaired people. Athletes, coaches, medical staff, managers, and the public in general now have a powerful tool to stay focused on the principles of clean sport. Scrolling down the main menu, you can find all the important themes you need to know to play fair and be alert to testing procedures and necessary adaptations for athletes with visual impairments. IBSA gives top priority to anti-doping control, being the only international federation with 3 sports in the Paralympic family: goalball, football, and judo. IBSA Anti-Doping App has external links, namely to WADA, where our sport agents can always find the most updated information, especially the list of prohibited substances and methods. Glory in sport can only be achieved by the athlete's awareness of their rights and responsibilities. You can find them on the IBSA Anti-Doping App. IBSA is continuously promoting anti-doping education to all its affiliate athletes and sport agents, not only about the consequences of the use of doping and the risk of using supplements. IBSA believes that education is the major tool to fight doping in sport. Informed athletes can make better decisions. Download the app now at the usual operating system stores.
And ladies and gentlemen, we have seen history being made today Such a great team at these championships.
IBSA. Beyond sight. Feel the sport.
It's fast, technical and tense. This is your guide to five-a-side football. There are 5 players per team, 4 outfield players and a goalkeeper. The aim of the sport is to score a goal by kicking the ball into your opponent's goal, and at the end of the game, whoever scored the most wins. Players must wear eye shades to ensure that all players have the same level of vision. That is apart from the goalkeepers, who aren't required to wear eye shades and can be fully sighted. Their job is to keep the ball from going in the goal behind them. But how do the players on the field know where the ball, or indeed the goal, is? Well, the ball in blind football is specially designed to make sound whenever it moves. Also, each team has a guide behind the opposition goal to help direct them. Each player is required to shout "Voy" when going for the ball. This ensures every player has the cues they need to help build a picture of what's going on and what to do next in defence or attack. To help this, total silence is required from the crowd until a goal goes in. Voy is Spanish for go, and it was the Spanish who were credited with originally developing blind football in the 1920s. As well as the Paralympics, teams from all corners of the world can compete at World, European, Asian, African and America's Championships, as well as a World Grand Prix.
Blind football can be played by both men and women, with the historic first Women's World Championships coming up in 2023.
So what are you waiting for? Give it a try.
Well, the Birmingham clock in the background says on it that it is 11 minutes past 7 on this Friday evening, which of course is the final game of the day. The last 15 minutes of action on this Friday of the blind football tournament. The women's played this morning, where of course there were 2 0-0 draws. There was a draw between Colombia and France, of course. Mali and Spain was of course a game that didn't take place on this pitch due to Mali not being here. It was a walkover result for Spain as they won 6-0. We also saw Iran and Mexico draw 1 apiece. Here it is goalless as we start this second half. We're 18 seconds in, as now Joao Suarez is on the ball. Just as it took off him as Bouar and Hatab made a challenge. Quite interesting about Hatab. He's hobbling now, very much in that game against Mexico. He had a lot of treatment and a lot of ice on his ankle during the game, and he was taken off at certain points. They certainly would have probably wrapped him up in cotton wool, but it might seem as though that it's striking again at certain times, and he's been the one for Morocco, the one who's going to be near enough. You think if they are to score, it's going to be him, but yet to be the case. Here is now Nonato for Brazil. Come on for the start of this second half. He didn't end the first half on the pitch. Right-footed pass. Joao Suarez chases, and we'll get there. We'll use the boards and back into the front of the Morocco number 4, Hikam Lamlas. Morocco, though, are able to get it clear. Here is now Hatab. He's away from Cassio Reis. He still can't find a way through. Luan denies him and gives out a bit of a cheer as well, as the Brazil captain with another save. And he's made the save very early on in this second half.
Yeah, it's another great strike, this time with his left foot. And the keeper stood up big and strong. And he's hit him in the left-hand side of his chest. And he's let out an almighty roar as he's saved another certain goal. And he's very pleased with his performance so far. Yeah.
Hatab did a very un-Hatab thing, didn't he? Which was basically run past the Brazilian defence. He's usually not even thought about trying to run past the opposition. He's just almost sort of shoot from range and hoping to score a worldie, but he was quite close to Luan there as he got his shot away. Luan with the shot, it's blocked, it's landed in the penalty area, and Nonato gets it away. He's going to the halfway line, but there has been a foul that has been pulled back, and it has gone in Brazil's favour. I think Nonato was just clipped there, just around by the halfway line.
Yeah, he definitely had a little tug at him, so we've got a free kick, and it's in the Brazilian half. Quite central. Early foul given again with Morocco. Clicking that foul count up again.
Yeah, reset, hasn't it? So, of course, it's the first one of the half. They made 2 fouls early in the first half, which they wouldn't get penalised for. There is now Joao Suarez. Straight to Hatab, who more or less just sends it clear. Thiago Silva holding him off all the way. It'll go through to Luan. We'll reveal the 2 sides for the second half very shortly, as the action is still going on here. Nonato away from Bourar, but in the way of him is Hikam Lamlas, who's there to try and clear it. But more importantly, first of all, before that, stop Nonato, is Joao Suarez. Bouar is strong. Joao Suarez still not able to go down, but he goes into Hatab, he brings it clear. Has he fouled Hatab there? Thiago Silva, he has. Free kick in the Moroccan centre circle. Tom De Bruyne, the referee, sticks his left arm out to emphasise it's a free kick for Morocco. And more importantly, Hatab could get some treatment here.
Yeah, he's kicked him on the knee. It's a painful one. He'll be all right over that. It's just a bruise. But it's interesting to see that even when Brazil are attacking, they're only attacking with 2. They're obviously identified the 10 from Morocco as a dangerous player, and they're keeping 2 players back at all times to sort of cope with him. So even if he doesn't score, he's doing a great job for his team, because he's basically making Brazil play 2 at the back.
Fabio Vasconcelos may have just tweaked a bit of the way the team is playing to combat Abdelrazak Hatab. He gets the shot away. He'll still be determined to carry on here, and has got a touch of Cassio Reis, and it will be a Moroccan corner.
I've never seen this lad from Morocco before. Oh, he's unbelievable. I don't know where they got him from, but my word, he is some player.
Well, we've seen in the 2 games he's had, he's also been in the wars. It's almost been like you can name what part of his pod has not been hurting him at some point. He was rubbing his elbow in the first half where he landed. He had a problem with his ankle in the first game against Mexico despite bagging a hat-trick, and now he seems as though he's got a bit of a problem with his knee. Almost feels like it's going to be something else coming up for him, but he's still carrying on. As it almost does feel like, you don't want to get a bit too sort of dramatic, but he probably is carrying his nation's hopes with him in this tournament. It does feel like to some degree, as they have got themselves another corner, as Brazil defended the last one pretty well over on their far side. Burar and the number 4 Lamlas over there. Hatab inside the penalty area behind the wall, and in between Nonato now has moved away to stand level and side by side with the sort of 3 defensive wall for this corner kick. Nonato man marking him right behind him inside Brazil's penalty area, which you don't often see. Spins away, goes behind Nonato. They went low, trying to pass to Hatab Morocco, and Burar's pass is intercepted by Thiago Silva. Left-footed clearance towards goal, and it's defended, and it will be a corner as the Brazilian guy claps, but the Moroccan goalkeeper puts his hands on his head because he's quite stunned that that's actually gone Brazil's way.
Yeah, he definitely thought it was a goal clearance, didn't he? But I was just trying to think of can I remember any other Moroccan player having a shot in this game, and I can't. It's
been him and nothing else, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, and so they'll want to keep him on the pitch as long as possible.
Here's Gil Suarez, goes down, no foul. Francois Carcouet, the French referee, just sort of puts his arms out to say, no, that wasn't a foul. Away you go. Here is now Hatab. Seems as though probably the Moroccan staff's eyes light up when he's on the ball, whether he's running or he's lining up a shot. There's been a bit of shooting practice for him in that first half, it's felt like. Nonato away from 2, going towards the right side of the penalty area, still inside there. Will he get the shot away? Can he get it out of his feet? Brilliant work. Will shoot and just throwing himself. That it was Hussam Gili. Player's been stopped with both the officials' arms going in the air as Gili is down inside his own penalty area.
It's indirect, whatever it is, so it's not a penalty. I think it's going to be a free kick, indirect free kick to Brazil on the edge of the box. For definite. Yeah, I was just thinking about it, man. Like, if Morocco win this, that puts them on 6 points, which means they're in. So they could rest him next game. They could just say to him, right, you couldn't have a rest, we're through. And so perhaps that's the reason why the coach is keeping him on, thinking, right, he's going to get me a goal. That's going to put us on 6 points. That means we're qualified. And he can put his feet up for 4 or 5 days. And they get all his injury problems sorted out.
Well, let's just take a moment to actually appreciate that block from a different player on the Moroccan team in Hussam Gili, who got in the way of Nonato. 1-1 on the foul count. Free kick for Brazil. Over on the right of the penalty area. Very much infield from the sideboards. As it is Silva and Gil Suarez over there looking to take it. There's 3 Moroccan players inside the goalkeeper's box. So the goalkeeper hasn't got a lot of vision in front of him to try and deal with this shot if it goes towards him. He's standing pretty much just a couple of yards in front of the line on the goal line. Nonato is inside the penalty area. Hatab is back as well. This is as close as Brazil have got. Barring Nonato and that block from Gili in this second half to trying to score. It will be taken, they will hit it. Charged down by the wall, which is very effective and does the business. As Morocco will look to clear with Hikam Lamlas. Sides just quickly then. Brazil have Luan in goal. They have Cassio Reisa, number 5, on the pitch. The number 8 is Nonato. Number 9, Thiago Silva. And Gil Suarez is the number 11. As Hatab is looking to go for Morocco here. Has been pulled back by the referee.
Yeah, well done, referee. Great bit of refereeing there from Francois. That tag was clearly tagged just on the halfway line, and he managed to stumble on another couple of yards. But it was a clear foul. And so he's brought it back, no advantage, and got a free kick in the centre circle, middle of the pitch.
Well, I think we've said every Moroccan player in this half that's on the pitch. Just to recap, Samir Bara in goal, number 3, Hussam Gili on the pitch, Redouane Bourar. They also have on there the number 10, Abdelrazak Hatab, and also there as well the number 4, Hikam Lamlas, as Hatab shoots. bit wayward, that one, as it bounced off the sideboards, but again, he is just hobbling away, as it looks as though he's in a real discomfort and in a bit of searing pain. Here is now João Suarez into the penalty area, but there's Moroccan defenders all around him and in front of him, able to not allow him to shoot. Gilly will leave it, and it will be a goal clearance for Morocco.
Matt, I'm not surprised he's hobbling away. That was a block from the Brazilian on the shot, and it must have hurt him. Honestly, he's put his foot there to block it, and he's pulled it. And you know when you got 2 feet close to the ball and you hit it, and you just get that reverberation back up your leg. That must have hurt. I don't know if we can perhaps get a clip of that back, but oh my word, it was a heck of a block by the Brazilian, and no wonder he's limping away from it.
Well, Thiago Pirana is down. He's getting up to his feet. Francois Kakure, the referee, is just going to him just to see if he's okay. The 2 Brazilian physios on either side are helping him up. We will get to see now what led to Hatab sort of just grimacing in, looking in pain, as Thiago Silva comes off. So Brazil make a change. Maicon comes on.
Here we go.
Well, this is the...
Right, okay, we haven't got it.
Well, there is the injury to Thiago Silva that saw him go down and then subsequently, not long after, come off. But if it is to be 0-0 here, Dixie, and it is to stay as it is, with Brazil having this corner, will this feel like a missed opportunity for Morocco?
Well, they would want to beat Brazil, I can assure you of that. But yeah, that would put them both on 4 points, and the other team, 2 teams have got 1 point each, haven't they? So it wouldn't be a disaster. But I'm sure Morocco want to win. I'm not so sure about Brazil though, if they want to win.
Yeah, the intent is not quite there from Brazil yet, but still got time to change it with just over 10 minutes left to play. They've got another corner as João Suarez took it and came off the Moroccan 3-man wall from this corner. Maicon will take it with Suarez behind him. Back heels it to Suarez. May look to hit it about 8 metres out, coming in from the near side. However, though, it's defended well by Lamlas. Bouar missed clearing it. Suarez is there, battling with Bouar. As Brazil have it now with Maicon over the 14-metre line. Good challenge though by Hatab, who's just trying to get motoring on, but he runs straight into Cássio Reis, who wins it back for Brazil. Now it is with João Suarez. He goes on. Good challenge by Lamlas. There has been some good bits of defending actually by Morocco. The number 3 Gilly and the number 4 Lamlas have been excellent when they've been called upon. Here's now Hatab all alone up there. He goes down. Is he fouled?
No. There was no foul there. No foul. Referees are quite right. He has gone down, but there wasn't a foul there. He had 3 Brazilians around him, and none of them touched him. And he's just gone down under the weight of having 3 bodies around him. But it looks like he's got a stomach injury now.
Well, he's down and he's got a chance to have a bit of a breather. And I mean, that can be added to the list of body parts that he's injured. It seems, I mean, we've already mentioned he's had a bit of an injury in the 2 games to his elbow. He's had a problem with his ankle. He's had a problem with his knee. Now it seems as though he's been whacked in his stomach or took one in his midriff, as he's still on the ground. And of course the Moroccan guide is just trying to see if he's okay. Say Himi.
Yeah, they don't want to bring the physio on to him. They bring a physio on, he's got to go off. So that's why the guy's looking at him. We've just seen a replay of it now, and there was nothing in there. And I think he's hurt his stomach as he's gone down. Oh, he's going to have to go. He's probably, when he's come down, I think his stomach's gone down onto a heel of a Brazilian player as that player's running away. I'm sure he'll be back.
Well, the physios reluctantly, I probably imagine, had to come on because they probably know they don't want to take him off. And even the paramedics who are on standby if there is a real severe injury are now coming on to see if he's okay. But with just under 10 minutes to play, it is 0-0. And certainly, Brazil still looking a little bit unconvincing. But you know, if they would weigh this up after their 2 games, after 30 minutes of tournament football, they were to not concede a goal, get 4 points in the manner their performances, I think they'd probably say, well, that's not too bad given we are still yet to really showcase what we're all about.
But they're Brazil. Brazil don't do that. No, none of the teams in Brazil do that. They just want to play all the time, you know. We've got Jefferson coming on for Brazil now.
Well, Hatab is still down. Of course, there is no sort of time added on in blind football. It's stopped on the clock when there is a injury or if there is a timeout or anything else. There's the Moroccan physio and one of the sort of ambulance crew or paramedics, medical services, whatever you want to call them, try and help him up. As it does now appear that he is up and will, of course, as Dixie has mentioned, he will have to come off for however long it will be that he's out of the action for. I don't think it's going to be for the remaining 9 minutes 38 seconds. I think it's going to be as soon as he tells him he's okay. I think he's going to forget the all clear from when the officials and the medical staff tell him it's going to be on his terms, and that will probably be in the next couple of minutes, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to put any more money on the fact that he won't come back on. You know, he's done it before. He's had his injuries. He's gone off, and then he comes back on within a minute or two, and he's like a spring chicken again. I'm not saying he's fainting these injuries because it's quite obvious to see he is injured, but he's just so eager to get on and do his business that I'm sure unless it's something really serious, the first aid cart's going away. So it's hopefully not that bad.
It almost looks like and feels like no matter how wounded he is, it's almost got to be that he's almost got to break a bone to probably not play for his country for the remainder of this tournament. We're back underway, though, after a lengthy stoppage to see if Abdelrazak Khatab was okay, as Brazil have made a change as Jefferson Gonçalves is on. Having a little keep ball session with Nonato here, as he goes away from his away from the Moroccan centre circle, over the 14-metre line on the near side. Lamlas closing him down. Gilly struggling to clear as Nonato. Heavy touch and it has rolled in. Somehow it's ended up in the back of the net. It's a scrappy goal. Nonato's got it in there. It's a little bit undeserved, but Brazil will not care one little bit because they have somehow managed to find a way through and managed to get the opening goal of this game. It's against the run of play. Morocco 0, Brazil 1.
How did that go in? I don't understand it. Now, this is a better angle. Well, the keeper saved it, and it's come off him, and it's gone back to the Brazilian, hit the Brazilian in the belly, and it's bounced over the keeper. Well. The number 10 from Morocco goes off, and within 30 seconds, his side are behind.
Well, it's mystifying to the goalkeeper, Morocco, how that's ended up in the net, but as soon as that ball rolled over the line, it didn't actually touch the net, believe it or not, in the middle and the bottom end of the goal. Samir Barra was seemingly unhappy about something, as Suardil Suarez, by the way, was the player that Jefferson Gonçalves replaced to come onto the field of play. But they just seem to find a way to the Brazilians. They did it against Iran, albeit with Iran making silly, rash fouls, which they couldn't eradicate in the first half of their opening game. And yet Morocco, of all the opportunities they've had, the shots they've tested with Luan with, particularly from Hatab, it's not worked because Brazil have somehow found a way to take the lead in this game, remarkably, to be fair.
Yeah, and they've just committed a silly foul up in the top corner. What's the bet in number 10? What's the bet he comes back on now? When his side has just gone a goal down, he'll be back.
I don't think that's a bet I want to take with you, to be fair, because I think it's going to be happening very soon, as it's 2-2 in the fouls count. 1-0 to the Brazilians through Nonato, who I think is going to probably claim that goal, but it looked like possibly on one angle of the replays, it might have gone off Samir Barra's back, but Barra throws it out towards the halfway line to Sneesler, who has gone on in place of Khatab, who of course is off the pitch temporarily. It's important now for Morocco that they don't lose their core and they do stick to the plan, which had been working, but is there a plan B now? Their danger man and sort of main threat is off the pitch in Abdelrazak Khatab. Looks like Hussam Gil is looking to be the different player, and there was probably a few people in the stands or on both benches or both outside of the near sideboard, probably sort of squinting a little bit and probably a little bit worried when Gilly and the Brazilian player collided and went bang into the near sideboard. There's Lamlas trying to clear out of his penalty area. A little bit away for now. He's only gone a couple of yards. Is Jefferson Gonçalves. He won't mind having to try and get out of a tight hole. Sneezer there to win it off Maicon. No foulers. Play carries on with Cassio Reis inside his own penalty area. He flicks away from Sneezer. That's good work by Cassio Reis. Still going on. Loses his footing but still carries on. Lamlas in the way. Gilly in the way. Barra just almost pushes Lamlas out the way, and it will be a it will be Morocco who will have the ball, as Barra just sort of is just being a little bit sort of tentative and sort of just going over to Cassio Reis and just tapping him and just seeing if he's okay about something.
Yeah, I think he was worried for his own player was down on the floor, and the Brazilian lad was walking back that way. But what has happened, great refereeing by Tom De Bruyne again. There was a little trip on that run before he got in the box, just on a halfway line, and the Brazilian stumbled, but managed to keep going. It ended up nothing come out of it, so he's brought it back, and we've got a free kick to Brazil just in the Morocco half. Well done.
Well, it was right to play the advantage, to be fair to him, wasn't it? It did go on for a good few seconds, and he did pull that back. He did keep it in his mind. No foul, though, on Jefferson Gonçalves, who gets up. Tom De Bruyne very quick to make that decision. That's been the real theme of this tournament, isn't it? Is the referees, a lot of the time, have been very quick to stick to their original decision. No changing of the mind at all. As now Lamlas goes on. It's a great run, this. Challenge goes in by Cassio Reis into the penalty area, but he has hit it wide and towards the far green fence. But I think it has taken a nick off a Brazil player, so it is going to be a corner, in fact, as it won't be taken yet because the timeout's been called.
Yeah, it was a good bit of defending by the Brazilian, and he's got back and managed to get round the Moroccan and get a foot in there and smack it out for a corner. I'm just looking up the pitch to see if we can see the number 10. Is there any sign of him coming back? There's not at the moment.
Yeah, he's just sat sort of in the area off the pitch, taking a sip of water on board. You probably think now is the time to bring him on. They probably are just trying to go over their last checks and just almost do something just to get him on, fast track him on pretty much. He might, to be fair, Dix, have to play through the pain barrier here.
Well, he might do. He doesn't look too bad, to be honest. He's moving around quite comfortably in their dugout, and it's players talking to him, and it doesn't look like he's in pain, so we might see him again. I wouldn't be surprised. We wrote him off the other day, didn't we, when he was having treatment right in front of us. We ain't seen him again. Look at the size of that ankle.
Well, to be fair, it was interesting. They wanted to throw him on when they were 3-0 up towards the end of that opening game against Mexico. And to be fair, they've been a little bit different this time, man. They've been extra cautious to throw him on, even though they are losing a completely different outcome. So they've probably realised, the Moroccan medical staff, this is probably a bit more of a worser injury than they might have first feared, perhaps.
Yes, you could probably right there, Matt. Yeah, so we're going to restart with a corner to Morocco, and Francois just checking the shades because they had a timeout, and every time there's a timeout like that, all the shades are checked again to make sure there's been no skullduggery during that minute timeout.
So it is Lamlas behind Sneesler, who will no doubt get it from Lamlas here, which is the case. He doesn't quite roll it through to him, but it's a little touch behind him for Sneesler, who will look to get the right angle to shoot. He is bundled over. That was a clear push as he's gone in to the back of the side far board. Cassio Reis with the push. Tom De Bruyne spots it. Free kick Morocco.
Yeah, it was a cynical foul by the Brazilian there. He's quite dangerous, that, as well. As they get close to the board, he just bundled him in straight into the board, so you can tell Brazil are under a bit of pressure, can't you? Because they're doing un-Brazilian like things.
Maybe that falls into the sort of category of a bit of a needless foul there by Cassio Reis, the Brazilian number 5, that, and it could cost him.
Yeah, you're right, Matt. He was going nowhere, wasn't he? He was going towards the boards. There's no need to do that.
So Morocco free kick, about 12 metres out from the far sideboard. They're only just a few inches away from there, to be fair, as it is Bourard and Sneesler there. Brazil, as it stands, on course for 2 wins out of 2. Morocco second on 3 after 2 matches played. Iran third on 1 point. Mexico bottom on 1. Iran got a better goal difference on -1 compared to Mexico's -3 after their 1-1 draw earlier on today. It's now Sneeslow who hits it, but it's too high an effort, and Luan just sees it fly comfortably well over his head. As Brazil are going to make a change. As Jefferson Gonçalves is going to go off, and we spoke about him just a few minutes ago, but the number 10 Hatab is going to come on, no doubt. That is going to bring cheers to the Moroccan fans in the crowd. As Jefferson goes off, or Jefinho as he has on his shirt, and Thiago Silva goes on, and Hatab now goes on for Morocco for the final 7 minutes that remain, with both sides on 3 fouls apiece. So that might come into play here potentially.
Exactly, and who do you want taking your penalties? Exactly, the number 10 for Morocco.
Maicon trying to send it forward. It's gone off Hatab. He was probably only off the pitch, I would say, if we're having to probably have an estimate of 3-4 minutes or so. He is on now, though. I think some of the outer protection has gone off of Maicon. It is the full black shades, so you'll have to put that on. And, of course, when that happens, and it's the right time to do so, the referees will stop it, and that is the case here. So it will be an uncontested ball with Brazil last touching it before, of course, the shades came off of Maicon. It will be Brazil who will get this game back underway. As the player who came off for Morocco was Sneeslow to allow Hatab to come back on. So 6 minutes, 41 seconds remain. The final game of the day here in the blind football tournament. Men's, what we're looking at now, currently seeing with Morocco leading, Morocco behind against the Brazilians. Perhaps on a different day, might have been different. But it is what it is at the moment as Morocco look to change it. As Gilly tries to clear it, misses it, goes off a white shirt last. Brazil have got a corner. Remember, Morocco in all white. The goalkeeper Samer Bara in a pink shirt with the white line sort of vertically, and then the pink shorts and black socks. Brazil in their yellow shirts, blue shorts and blue socks. Their home strip compared to Morocco, of course, who were in all green against the Mexicans. Corner is taken, nothing of it though for the Brazilians. Cassio Reis will try to clear it. He will hit it against himself. Morocco have got themselves a corner and a chance to get up the pitch.
Yeah, it's a bit of a needless corner there. A bit of miscontrol by the Brazilian down in the corner, and he's given a corner kick away to Morocco.
You maybe think there possibly the goalkeeper Luan could have maybe been giving him a bit more communication, because he just sort of steamed into it, didn't he, Cassio Reis? Maybe the goalkeeper should have just gone, look, calm yourself down, you know, just slow yourself down and understand where you are a little bit there.
Well, he certainly had plenty of time, so he could have been saying to him, look, you've got plenty of time, there's no one on you. But
corner is taken by Morocco. Lamlas to Bourar. It won't go out, the ball is stationary. Of course, the referee's left arm goes up. He put one finger in the air because that's signalling, of course, how long that is stationary. Bourar was off the pitch, as was the ball went. Of course, Luan has just thrown a new ball back onto the pitch. Down is Nonato, back up to his feet, and will contest the ball alongside Hussam Gili. Cleared forward. Now Lamlas, and there's a shot that comes in, and Nonato pounced upon. A bit of an untidy clearance from Hikam Lamlas and hits it wide, and it will be a Morocco goal clearance, but Morocco can't afford to do that as they chase the game.
What's happening? Yeah, there's a free kick to Morocco, I think. Yeah, there's a free kick to Morocco, and it's gone the foul count. Brazil on 4 fouls. Well, so, hey, here we go.
7 fouls altogether made in this second half. 4 for Brazil, 3 for Morocco. 5 minutes 33 seconds remain. Possibly this could be Morocco's way of getting an equaliser if they aren't to score and get past Luan. One more foul member Brazil concede, and they will get an 8-metre penalty, which we saw in the last game, which Mexico would miss through Reinaldo Rivera. Ball goes forward towards the far side, looking for Hatab, but Morguada play for a Brazil goal clearance, which is taken. Silva now going out towards Nonato. Silva's been quite keen to get the ball down and play. Nonato hits it, deflects all the way through to the goalkeeper Samir Barra, who collects and then throws it out straight away to Hatab on the 14-metre line. Just a little bit of a heavy touch, which sees Brazil clear it away. They have done a good job in marshalling him and almost being the security against him, haven't they? Luan has been very well protected in terms of not having shots to face in this second half against Abdelrazak Hatab when he has been on the pitch. As we still have over 4 minutes of this final game of the day to go. With it being Morocco 0, Brazil 1. Hatab and Silva both battling. There was a foul, and that is of course gone against the Brazilians. And you know what that means? It's an 8-metre penalty for Morocco. And I'll tell you what, to say it's a bit of an understatement that Brazil aren't happy about that would be something else. As Morocco have got an unbelievable chance to get an equaliser here.
They're still going off in the air. I know what they're upset about. There was a little shirt pull just before the foul was committed on the Moroccan. That's what they're going mad about.
Well, we are just seeing it there. It did look like, to be fair, both were pulling each other's shirt, to be fair, but the officials didn't see it that way. They felt Silva was pulling on Hatab, who has ended up getting the free kick, or in this case, getting his side an 8-metre penalty. There's Hatab, who is gingerly sort of walking away and just inside the penalty area, probably just trying to catch his breath before he is inevitably going to be the player to probably step up here for Morocco. And if this does go in, you're going to probably see the Brazilian bench getting a little bit more animated, I think.
Yeah. I as I say, the referees are right. It was a little tug. It wasn't much, but there was just a tiny little tug there. So obviously the Brazilians have picked up on that, and they're going with that. That's a decision. If nothing had happened after that, they wouldn't have said a word for sure. But the referees are right. They've given the foul to Morocco, and because they're on the fourth, it's an 8-metre penalty. It makes that foul that they gave away on the boards a couple of minutes ago a bit stupid now, isn't it?
Well, the guide from Morocco, Said Himi, tapping away at the post. An 8-metre penalty for Abdelrazak Hatab. With just over 4 minutes to play, he's going to score his 4th goal of this tournament, and to get Morocco level against Luan, and he's missed it. Well, that really is an anticlimax, isn't it? Not the story or end result that Morocco were hoping for, but it's a happy one if you're a Brazil fan, as he is hit it wide, and Morocco have squandered a big opportunity as Brazil look to punish them with a ball across the Moroccan penalty area, but Nonato unable to get on the end of it. But Brazil will be allowed to send people forward because they've got their side of corner. But here's the replay of this Hatab miss, and Dixie, there was just a part of me and probably yourself thinking that was going to end up in the net, but it wasn't to be.
Well, I must admit, I thought he was going to hit it, but what he's doing, he stepped back from the ball and walking up to the ball to hit it, and you've only got to be slightly out of cue with the ball doing that, and you just get the wrong angle on the ball, and we still got over 4 minutes to go, so the chances are he's going to get another penalty.
Well, they are on 5 fouls, aren't they, Brazil? And you'd probably like to think that they will be very standoffish against the Moroccans. It's now gone through to Nonato via a deflection off of Thiago Silva's shot. Looking for Thiago Silva again is Nonato. Challenge goes in by Hatab, who wins it midway through his own half. Here he is now running through, looking to atone for that penalty miss, but it's a brilliant tackle by Casio Reister. Puts Hatab on the ground with a pretty heavy landing. He doesn't really want that to happen to him. As Maicon hits it, left-footed, it goes wide. But just kind of going back to that penalty, Dixie, it didn't really look like the right sort of technique you need to do when taking that penalty. We've seen toe punt type efforts for a penalty, but he tried to sort of go a different way and try and put it right in the bottom corner. Luan's goal onto his right.
He's tried to hit it like a Saudi player would. By placing the ball down, taking 2 or 3 steps back, and then running up and hitting it.
Ball has now gone through to Hatab. Surely it's not! Luan saves! What a
injured.
Brilliant save. He's injured from it.
I'm not surprised.
What a fantastic save.
He's hurt.
And Hatab must think that his luck is out and all the chances he's had to score
he's hurt.
have just gone away as Luan is down injured. As he stretched far and wide to save it, and he has. He's seemingly, though, it's like a muscle injury, but it's almost 2 injuries in one, because the ball struck him on the side of the face again, just as it did in the first half, but you can just see his left leg, he was in a sort of split pose type position in terms of trying to save it, and he's done brilliant to save it, and it's actually come off the side of his face, but Abdelrazak Hatta must think he's run over so many black cats, because his luck is just completely out at the moment.
That's right, but you could see the Brazilian lad was hurt. Before he even hit the floor, he was screaming at the bench. So it was quite obvious that it was a genuine injury. I'm not sure what he's done here. He's overstretched a groin muscle, hamstring or something. Something went, and he knew it had gone. And it was as the ball was hitting him in the face. So that's the second time he's been whacked in the face, isn't it?
Well, that signal for Luan going down has seen the number 12, Mateus Costa, get warmed up and hopefully get himself onto the pitch as the rain starts coming down again, as we have just gone past 7:45 here, local time in the West Midlands. Certainly over the last 2 days we've had conditions where it's been pretty hot, pretty warm weather as well, but not today, not at all. We had a little bit of sunshine just in the afternoon, but Brazil are going to make a change. The physio is just telling the officials that Luan is going to come off, as they are going to bring on their sub-goalkeeper Mateus Costa. And tell you what, Luan is just walking in front of us, and he really does not look good in any way at all, does he?
No. I don't know if it's a hand. It looks like it could be a hamstring. I think he might, as you say, he went down in the splits, and so he could have tweaked a hamstring or something, but it doesn't look good. Let's hope it's not too serious.
Well, of course, that's the luxury and the beauty of blind football. You do get in your 10-man squads. If you do go up to the maximum number, there is that sub-goalkeeper, that reserve on standby. So Brazil have used it with their goalkeeper and captain injured. We have seen at times in this tournament, goalkeepers, the second ones, get their chance to play at least a half or play some part. And Mateus Costa, the number 12, is going to get 3+ minutes, as Morocco won't take their goal clearance yet, because the shades of an outfielder are being checked. Hussam Gilly by Tom De Bruyne, one of the two officials on the pitch, one on the far side to be more precise.
That's poor.
But has that chance missed from 8 metres by Hattab just completely knocked the stuffing and the wind out of the Moroccan sails? Maybe the belief has now just totally gone, perhaps, over the last few minutes. Here's Nonato trying to go to the penalty area. Great challenge, though, by Hussam Gilly, and he is putting in one hell of a shift for his side. It feels like he's not missed a single tackle when he's been on the pitch for Morocco, who's still got to believe they can get a goal. Matter, even though Hattab probably is not 100% fit, but it just looks like it's getting a little bit into desperate territory now for the Moroccans, Dixie.
Yeah, and there's been a couple of poor throwouts by the keeper as well. Not really giving Hattag a chance to get onto the ball. Come on, man. You can see what you're doing. You're throwing it. Give it to him.
Does just feel, just to add to the point, a little bit more and a little bit rushed from Samir Bara. Hattab is still up there. He's got his hands on his hips. He is just trying to walk into the centre of the pitch, in the centre circle. Francois Garkoué does stop. The play, blows his whistle, and it will get thrown back to him. So I think he's just going to drop the ball down. Back into the Moroccan's path here, I think it was.
Yeah, I think the ball must have, we can't see it from this angle, but I think the ball must have hit Francois. That's the only thing I can think of. And obviously, you've got to blow up for that, because he's affecting the play. And the ball just goes back to whoever last touched the ball before it hit Francois. So I guess that's what it was. I can't see from this angle, but if I'd have bent my head round, I could have seen it.
What we do know is it is an uncontested drop ball, which the Moroccan defender Bourard will clear, but he'll clear it straight off Nonato as it bounces back off him. However, then Morocco able to get a foot in and win it. Sent over to the near sideboard by Hikam Lamlas. Cassio Reis will leave it. He will get the call from Mateus Costa to leave it. There's still time, though, for Morocco to try to score, to at least keep them unbeaten in Group D. If Brazil win, they are assured of a top 2 place, as Lamlas just tries to get any sort of touch to it and does. Here is now Thiago Silva, still going on, powering his way through. Francois Korkoué pulling it back and saying that there was a foul. He let the advantage play for as long as he could and did have to give Brazil a free kick in the end near the 14-metre line of the Moroccan half.
Yeah, it was good refereeing again, and I think that puts Morocco on 4 now, doesn't it? Does it? It will do when it goes
it's not updated yet, the scoreboard, but that certainly will do.
So, whoever commits a foul, we're going to have a penalty. We're just having a little timeout here, and a few final instructions, and I bet you to my bottom dollar, both coaches are saying, draw a foul, get a foul, just run at them, draw a foul.
Ever since sort of Hatab has missed that penalty, it almost just feels like, for Morocco, it's, a little bit rushed. It just feels just like they've gone against what they were originally doing, because they were creating chances, playing the way they were. Do you sense that there has just been a slight change of emphasis and a focus and a shift change completely by them? Do you perhaps feel, Dixie?
I think there's a bit of panic. Yeah, I think they've realised that time is running out. They had that penalty, which was a great opportunity to, to equalise. The time is against them, and they're starting to panic a little bit now and trying to speed everything up too much. And it was indicative of the throws that the goalkeeper was making. He was so rushed to get the ball up the field, he wasn't giving the players a chance to get onto the ball. And it was 2 or 3 throws, one after another, and he threw it and it just went out. And just think, well, you had time. You had 3 or 4 minutes. There was plenty of time left. So throwing the ball out all the time, I'm afraid that just falls into the hands of the Brazilians, doesn't it?
Suher Snisla is on. The player wearing the long sleeve black shirt underneath the country's top. He's gone on in place of Redouane Bourard. So it will be a Brazil free kick about 16 metres out. Nonato gets it in front of him from Thiago Silva. He's away from Sneasel off the boards. He's into the penalty area. This to wrap it up, surely! And he perhaps should have done, but he hits it wide on his left foot. A let off for Morocco. Barra dived. As it dived past him, the ball, and it is cleared straight through to Samir Barra. They have left 2 inside the Brazilian half, and again, it's a bit of a poor throw by Barra. It's gone straight to Nonato, who looks to shoot. He goes down, it goes off. Hikam Lamlas last, but it does feel as though Samir Barra is just throwing it out when the Moroccan players are just completely not even ready yet.
Yeah, I'm shaking my head during. There was another 2 throws he had there, one after the other one. He threw it straight to a Brazilian. How frustrating for the coach. Well,
they're going to make a change right at the very end here, the Brazilians. João Soares is going to come on. Hasn't played any part in this second half as the Brazil number 11. And he will come on now with under 50 seconds to go. There's Nonato, whose goal is going to get Brazil 6 points from a possible 6 as it stands in Group D. Still, we don't know how that ball ended up in the back of the net. I think I'm still going to be scratching my head once this game is over, and I think you probably will be, Dixie, as well.
Yeah, at least you got hair to scratch. It's a mystery. I don't really know what happened. I don't know if the keeper made a mistake or what, but it seemed to be he seemed to have it, then didn't have it.
Certainly the Brazilians after that, not at 2, as they just try and take it on the near sideboard. This tactic of not quite taking it in the corner but hold it onto the sideboard is working a good effect. They have just killed at least 10 plus seconds. Here is now Silva going for goal. Well blocked by Hikam Lamlas. There's all sorts going on over there. And it is a Brazil corner as they wind the clock down, as they look to manage the game accordingly now with so little left on the clock.
Yes, this is not what Morocco wants. They want the ball played and they want the ball in open areas. It's exactly what the Brazil don't want. And Brazil are doing a really good time management thing. Getting the ball down into the corner, keep knocking it off and get another corner. Just kills the clock.
They have got a corner on the near side. You're going to probably see the 4 Moroccan players in the wall from this corner kick go right out. That did go out of play from João Soares. 2 balls on the pitch, so they have to wait. Samir Barra was going to throw it out. Probably a good thing that he's probably having to buy a couple of seconds. The throws it out, it bounces past the halfway line. There was Thiago Silva, doesn't pick out anybody in white. Sneesler chasing, it's beyond him. Khattab there as well. Brazil have got every player back, outfield in their half. Khattab, he gets away from Silva. It is a goal kick. As Cassio Reis just stayed with him. As Mateus will now take it with 7.5 seconds left onto the sideboard. This is where Brazil want to be. They can smile now, they can rest a little bit easier. As the buzzer sounds, relief, sheer relief, a pop of the cheeks no doubt, as Brazil have got over the line. They've managed to get themselves a very hard fought 3 points here against Morocco. Abdelrazak Khattab puts his face into the turf inside the Brazil centre circle. They've got over the line and have got themselves a second win out of 2 in Group D by not playing at their best. They were below par, but they have managed to get themselves a consecutive 1-0 win in this group. But it could have been oh so different. Luan, when he was on the pitch, the Brazil goalkeeper, before he was subbed off with an injury, kept out Abdelrazak Khattab on several occasions, and it would be Khattab who would miss a 8-metre penalty that would not get Morocco a point or anything out of this game, as it was a scrappy goal that we're seeing back now that has decided this game between Brazil and Morocco, and it is the most untidiest of finishes you will ever likely see in blind football. But that's how it stayed, as Nonato would score it, and then Khattab would get a 8-metre penalty. Brazil, of course, would get done on the 5-foul rule in each half. Khattab would hit it. Not a usual technique in blind football way to take the penalty, but he would step up and he would fire it wide. A brilliant end to the day's action, as in Group D, Brazil make it 2 wins out of 2, with still a lot left to be desired for the Brazilians. It's back-to-back 1-0 wins, as they've managed to top the table and are assured of at least a place in the top 2 in Group D. Morocco stays second after that win against Mexico. Iran third with a point. Mexico bottom, of course, on a point after their 1-1 draw. But Brazil, the most important team at the top of the tree, they have 2 wins out of 2. It is finished here in Birmingham. The final game of the day, Morocco 0, Brazil 1.